Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting, jam-packed edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're to episode 85 already. Thanks everybody for joining us this week, and thank you TJ for joining me as we join each other every episode every week.
No.
And probably that didn't sound the way that I wanted it to, but that's okay. We're here and we're doing it. Not that way, you sickos. How's it going, TJ?
Not too bad. We're here. A little bit tired. But beyond that, everything's pretty good. Getting through the work week. We got 3 days left, and then hopefully I'll be off on the weekend and be able to be productive and get some work done on some of the projects that we got coming up and all that kind of shit. And that's about it, man. It's been good. What about you?
Well, my air purifier just decided to turn on full blast, so I'm solving that real fast so that we're not just getting bombarded with that. I don't know why that happened, but okay. Sidetracked the shit out of me there. I don't know.
I'm sneezing 1 second.
God bless you, as all polite people say, even if you're not religious.
Yeah, that was a good one there. But yeah. I don't know, man. Everything's going good. And what you been doing this week? We're not too far into it, but I guess what you've been doing since the last podcast.
Well, I think that we both feel like we came up with some really good stuff for the gaming channel. Work basically. Besides that, playing Final Fantasy VI. Square is currently having a Steam sale. And so I picked up Final Fantasy VI. I hadn't played it. It's been at least 20 years, if not more, since I've played it. And you had mentioned that you never played it. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the greatest Final Fantasies of all time. It's a Mount Rushmore JRPG. And that plus a whole lot more is on sale on Steam. And unfortunately, we don't have a code to give you for a discount because we're not sponsored yet, but one of these days.
Yeah.
It'll be like something easy like TJD or something, just 3 letters.
Yeah, we'll see. OverMark.
Yeah, that's true. OME.
Yeah. OverMark Entertainment brothers. Yeah. And sisters, I guess, too. We have 0 of them that watch the channel. I don't think we've ever had a female.
That's not true because Ashley has watched some of our stuff.
But I just meant about outside from that. Cora has too, but I'm not counting them.
You bitches don't count. You hear that? That's right.
Oh no, I don't mean that in a bad way. Just we don't have random
I do.
females. Oh damn.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, though. What have I been into? Not really too much. I just been relaxing. We were talking about the gaming channel, and then we told people on the last episode to check out the Rare video, and it looks like some people did because it's been hands down our most successful video that we've ever put together. But it's probably our most prepared one too. Just like to appreciate and thank anybody that checked it out, and if you haven't, why don't you do us a favor and go do that? But yeah, that's just pretty...
more people have watched. I think 2 of our videos on this channel so far, but I mean, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was just saying I appreciate everybody, and we're happy about it. Got a little bit of traction going, and we plan to keep them coming. Basically, is where that conversation was drifting off to.
We have some really good ideas and things coming.
Yeah, if we didn't work full time and everything, we'd probably be able to get them out a little bit quicker to you. But and you can't have too much of a good thing too, because then it just, it's not, who gives a fuck at that point. So you got to drip feed it to them to some extent. And we're learning, that's the whole YouTube thing. It's just a constant learning experience, just like anything else in life. But this one's a little bit less controlled, but all you can do is your best, right?
Yep.
Well,
and speaking of doing their best.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like that's what we're doing here with wrestling. Everybody's just kind of doing their best.
Or not.
Yeah. Well,
Starting to get the sniffles.
we could argue that the talent are doing their best with what is presented to them to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got WrestleMania 42 coming up here in a couple months. What is it, 6 weeks? Some shit like that. And some of
Something
the,
like that.
I'm looking forward
5 or
to.
6.
We were talking about it, I think, a couple weeks ago, where it's like it didn't seem like it was that had that much hype behind it. And I still think it's true to some extent, but they at least the cards rounding up a little bit. Like with the Brock and Oba match that they ended up adding on last night.
That's
That
exciting.
Yeah, people were really really hyped about that, and I think it was a decent Raw. Yeah, it's funny, that they're obviously not going to have as many wrestling matches as AEW does, and they're not going to go as long, and all their fans shit on them because of that, and the other way around. But AEW has too many matches, and both these companies could find a good middle ground for the promos and then the match balance, but neither one has it figured out. So it's you can point out a negative. It's a glass half full, half empty. Whatever your perspective is there. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the main events that they got lined up? I'm pretty excited about them.
Yeah, the Randy Orton heel turn was nice. Kind of foreshadowed that episode. I don't know if you noticed or not, but he was wearing all black. Lately he's had that blue Randy Orton shirt that he'd been wearing every week, and then this week when he came out, he was wearing the black pants and then the kind of old school black RKO everyone T-shirt. So it's just one of little things like that. Oh, he's a bad guy now. He's wearing all black. It's
I don't even think he's a bad guy. He's just like, having a feud with Cody, and he couldn't do it being a nice guy.
yeah,
Probably trying to teach him a lesson. Afterwards they'll be like, "See, I told you, I knew you could do it." Some type of deal.
maybe. I kind of hope Randy wins.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll see. He deserves it. He's the man. But what about our other one?
Well,
Yeah,
Punk
the
and
main
Roman
event.
has gotten pretty exciting. Their promos, the back and forth has been pretty good. Last night's promo I enjoyed.
Seems like everybody's real into it. They're
Yeah,
making it a big deal.
yeah, it's being presented that way, and why wouldn't it be? And why wouldn't people think that? It's literally two of the biggest names in the industry at the Super Bowl of wrestling. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
would
a
hope
pretty big deal, huh?
it really is. It might not have felt like it so much leading up to this, but it's finally starting to. That was a weird way to say too. I don't know why
Whatever.
I said it like that. But it's finally starting to look up. TJ and I had been kind of. I don't want to say negative, but it had been. It felt like more of a chore to watch than not than it had previously. So it's just nice to see a little bit better of a Raw. Yeah.
Well, talking about that too. So we'll go over the confirmed matches that we have so far. So they also have Stephanie Vakir versus Liv Morgan, which they've done a pretty decent job building that up. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Then we got Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I'm not really looking forward to that. Anything with Jade Cargill and big, important, and grandeur and something like WrestleMania, they just don't mix. It's like watching like an amateur on the main stage. Somehow like somebody that's terrible at football is playing in the Super Bowl. It doesn't really make any sense.
I came off the bench and I'm in the slam dunk contest in the
Yeah,
NBA.
yeah, it's not a good look, but hopefully they get that off her and the Jade Cargill experiment and the main event scene's done for now because it's a pure stinker and they should have never hired her.
Well, that's that's one way to put it for
But
sure.
But moving on to maybe some of the non-confirmed matches, right? So have you seen that they're talking about maybe doing a multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship at 42?
And poor Penta. No, I hadn't
Yeah.
seen that, but you got me with one.
Yes.
I certainly hope not.
So they're saying it could be El Grande Americano, Dom, and maybe some other Raw contenders. I guess, I'm sure it'll be a good match, but it'd be nicer to see Penta in a real program with somebody.
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Yeah, he's
I'm
super
I'm
over.
sure whoever they put into the match, like it will be a good match.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely will. That's nothing that I don't question. It's just it's always nice seeing a personal program and the big payoff ends at the big stage. But that's not what's going to happen here, huh?
And I imagine if it is El Grande, Danhausen has cursed him, so he won't win.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Those curses last a long time, I understand.
I wouldn't know. And it never happened to me yet, to my knowledge.
Well,
You know somebody else who's
I think
cursed? Sorry, go
who's
ahead.
that?
No. You go ahead first.
Well, as long as you don't cross Danhausen, you'll be fine.
Okay. But I think maybe some people that are a little bit cursed are the people that are being paid by WWE to watch AEW.
On paper, that sounds like a curse, but I mean, pay me to watch wrestling. You won't,
Yeah.
I mean, we're already not getting paid to watch it and talk about it and tell people about it. Shit, this is like the perfect job for people like you and I.
Do you find that surprising to hear that?
No, WWE has always paid attention to what's gone on. The guys that are now in charge, they over there have talked about back in the day. They had a second monitor on, watching Nitro and seeing what was going on, and sometimes they would react, you know, during the show, pivot on, whatever they were seeing. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that they have somebody that watches it and gives a little distilled on breakdown about what they're doing or not doing, or
You know who I bet it is?
what kind of marketing or whatever idea they have. What's that?
Mick Foley's son. You remember they had him hired and he was doing random shit?
Dewey.
Yeah, I bet you it's him.
You
Tell
know
us what you
why I
think,
know it,
Dewey.
you know why I know his name?
Because the same as the Malcolm in the Middle kid?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was a time that Mick Foley was wrestling in ECW, and I believe he was feuding with the Sandman or somebody. I can't recall at the time.
Sand
But
what, man?
Sandman.
There wasn't
And one
anything
of
after
the
sand?
no, there
Okay.
wasn't. Thankfully.
Oh,
But somebody in the sign had or in the crowd had a sign that said Kane Dewey. Which was at the time Mick Foley's like probably 5, 6, 7 year old son. Young, elementary school aged. And then he used that in a really good promo that he cut. Like one of those backstage pre-filmed promos, and
yeah.
he was like, Kane Dewey, and he's being all like deranged Cactus Jack about it,
Yeah.
and good promo. But anyway, long story short, that's why I remember that Mick Foley's son's name is Dewey, because it was used in an angle for a promo in ECW that you know maybe people saw, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I just remember he was like kind of a part of creative for a little bit, and they had him doing like some random jobs backstage for a little while. Who knows if he's still there? But if he is, that's probably the guy doing that. But yeah, I don't find it very surprising that they have people watching. Why wouldn't they? It's competitive company. It's you got to stay on top, right?
That's true. He was born in '92, so Dewey would have been like four,
Yeah,
3 or 4 when this promo was cut.
he's 4 years younger than I am. He's a big old guy.
He is. Well, look at his dad.
Yeah, his dad's nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like anytime Mick Foley comes out with an opinion, I could fucking care less about it. Usually, how his
yeah.
opinions go.
I I don't want to jump into all that stuff too much, but all I'll say is I admire that he stands behind his beliefs. There
Yeah,
are not a lot of people that put their money where their mouth is and physically stand behind what they say and practice what they preach. And while I may not see eye to eye with Mick on everything, it's admirable that he is willing to, you know, literally put his money where his mouth is. Like, that's all.
Yeah, 100%. He's a good guy though. Just
He really
most of
is.
the time I don't really care about celebrities' opinions. So
Nope.
he's no different than any other celebrity to me.
Yep. Or any person,
Yeah.
just because somebody was a wrestler or whatever, they're no better people than you and I. They're still just people. They're
Well,
just people that elbow drop other people.
tell me about somebody that you do care about, maybe.
Who do I care about? Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, we care about big, sexy Kevin Nash, and we got a little bit of a medical update here. They're saying that Kevin Nash said on his podcast that he recently had a small medical issue when he went to the doctors. And during a routine 6-month skin check, the doctors found a precancerous spot on his skin, and then they burned it off and removed it during the visit, which makes me hopeful for mine. But Nash said that everything was handled quickly, and the issue was caught early and treated right away. And he didn't describe it as anything serious, which is kind of how I feel about skin cancer a lot of times. I got a little bit of that spot right there that's turning red, and it hasn't fucked off since October. So I too am going to the dermatologist to hopefully my story is the same as you go and they just burn it off there on the spot.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You don't want anything bad to happen to Kevin. He's the only surviving member of the original NWO, and he's got a pretty entertaining
65 now.
Yeah, he's got a pretty entertaining podcast. I think he's older than 65. Isn't he 72?
No,
Yeah, I think he's 72, man.
I don't think he's 72, dude.
Yeah, why
He's
wouldn't
born
he
in
be?
59.
Nah.
He's 66.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he's getting up there. And he's in great shape for his age. But Kevin's a pretty funny guy. He's pretty. He like Mick. He talks about his opinions a lot, and he doesn't back down from them. And he'll let you know if he's got an opinion about something. But yeah, I'm glad that hopefully his thing's not serious, and he's funny. He's so sarcastic and like no energy about this kind of stuff when he talks about it. He's like, yeah, that's what I got going on. Like,
It's very, very dry, just matter of fact.
yeah, yeah. His kid passing really fucked him up, man. It's never like he's been high energy, but you can tell he has rough days here and there.
Yeah.
So he says
I
that's
think we
why.
all do.
Yeah, but yeah, get that skin checked out like Dave and Kevin are, because it's something I need to do too here at some
Yep.
point soon.
Well, yeah, you work outside. It's
Yeah,
I mean, like I honestly I wouldn't even be going, but like I noticed the thing on my nose and I'm like, hey, it's kind of a red spot there and it's not fucking off.
yeah,
You get like a cut or something, it usually fucks off after like a week and a half, unless it's like really severe. So, if you got something going on your face or body for months that it's not healing, you probably need to go have it looked at.
yeah. I'd say so. I definitely need to.
Yeah. I got to go to the dentist and get my wisdom teeth out too, but this is more pressing. We'll
Yeah,
deal with that. Maybe the wisdom teeth stuff will be later this year or something.
maybe that's some money.
Um, 500 each.
That stinks.
Yeah. Can't keep them forever though. It'll fuck you up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So,
Yep.
speaking of fucked up though, we got Tony Khan here, and he shared uh, something that he said's a fact without any actual facts behind it. But he said AEW fans had the highest streaming spend rate. That sound right to you?
Sounds like something.
Yeah. But
Man, maybe maybe I don't have anything to disprove what he's saying. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's all.
I highly doubt it. And what's that supposed to mean? You're saying that the 5 million people that watch the UFC events on Paramount, you're doing better because people have like buy your streaming services at a way lower rate, and then there's lower amount of fans, but more of your fans and that smaller number are buying them. That has to be what he means, right? Because they're definitely not getting fucking 5 million views on anything that they have.
No.
They I don't know where the fuck he's coming up with that shit from. Sounds pretty exaggerated. Didn't really bring any metric. No data shown. You know, the NFL, they'll have a game that's like 15 million, 25 million. I'm sure that there's way more people that have the NFL streaming apps that they paid for, like NFL Plus or whatever it is,
Yeah.
than any of the fucking AEW stuff, and it's not even close. You know, they just started My AEW. How many people you think are going to buy that internationally? Like fucking 200,000?
Probably. I don't know. Hopefully it does well and they do well and we can talk about that instead of being like, oh, well, because I want to have good news to talk about here. You know, there's a lot of not a lot to talk about that's positive with wrestling and things that are going on. Not that anything is like overly bad or anything, but I just more good stuff to talk about would be nice.
Well, I don't even know if that's too much of a negative. It's just me questioning what some guy was saying. Seems made up.
Yeah.
I'm not talking negatively about his product. We were a little bit before, but this is a separate one.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's just the the puffery and the outlandish claims are kind of just. But I guess that's what wrestling promoters do. Like, look at the WrestleMania 3. They've always fudged those numbers and made it bigger than what it actually was. You know,
Yeah.
same kind of idea.
I think you were telling me a little bit earlier about somebody that's got some pretty impressive merch numbers.
Well, there is. Everyone's favorite, yours and mine. Love that Danhausen. Man, he's got all these viral backstage things happening every week, every multiple times a week. Each episode, he's the top merch seller. They just carted out 2 more shirts. Everybody does seem to love Danhausen. What about you, TJ? Do you love Danhausen?
He's just okay. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other.
Well, I sent you a little thing over here so you can look at his merch here with me, and maybe we'll share it with the folks. He's got 2 more new shirts out. Like there was the original, you'll see the shirt on there that says most popular. That was his one shirt. That with the one shirt and no other shirts besides the man and woman's shirt, he became the number 1 merch seller in WWE in a week. And now they've added 2 more shirts and a kid's shirt. They got his cool wrestling buddy. I really want that. I like these. And then they got his hoodie, of course, and then picture of his debut type of thing, which is cool. Everybody likes little wrestling picture memorabilias. So he's already got way more merchandise than some people that have been there for a lot longer, and he's already number 1 merch mover in the company.
I can't find pussy anywhere.
Do you are you surprised that he came in and is moving merch at that level that fast?
No, not really. It seemed like he was doing pretty good when he was in AEW, and anytime that he shows up on a wrestling show on like a national level, it seems like his PWI t-shirts were whatever that pro wrestling store t-shirts were the top sellers. So yeah, not surprised at all. A character like that, I don't know, seems to be pretty popular, and people seem to like to buy his shit.
Well, Triple H gets it. Think about him and Sean doing the DX skits, hawking merchandise. Like,
Can I help it if I know one when I see one?
This is like right in his wheelhouse. Triple H loves selling merchandise, and that was before he was the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't not really too much more to say about it. Just I'm sure that he's going to WrestleMania weekend. He's going to make them an ass ton of money.
Yep. So basically, we just wanted to glaze Danhausen a little bit here and show off his merch. And you guys go out and order some too. Those things don't ship, I think, until late April or May or something. It said I had ordered the initial run of the Danhausen shirt. I got a 2XL. I think I'm going 2XL on all my shirts moving forward because they're a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Just a little fits me like an XL fit me when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to the OverMark Entertainment Podcast.
huh? Kind of seems a little late, huh?
Well, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks for welcoming everybody to the show, Tony. Really, really prompt stuff there.
I can't find pussy anywhere.
Yeah, you
Well.
mentioned that a couple minutes ago.
That's something. That's
Do you-
something.
Yeah, it definitely is something. Why don't you talk to us about this next thing here?
Stretching my neck out there. So, exciting announcement. I'm kind of hyped for it. I do understand some of the skepticism and some of the comments that are being made, but we got Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry fighting at 170, added to the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano Netflix card on May 16th. I'm kind of hyped for this. I've heard some of the negative comments, but we get to see Nate Diaz fight Mike Perry.
It'll be
So,
cool.
Yeah. What do you think of this?
I mean, Nate Diaz is a really popular guy. You know, they're trying to load this up with whatever names they have. They really won't be able to do this too much, and it'll definitely have a shelf life. But he's going to bring some good attention to the card for him. Funny enough, he's in the MMA world. I believe he's a bigger name than Rousey is, so that should, he will bring more interest to this card than she will, I think.
Maybe not so hot take, maybe hot take. I don't know. You can tell me. I feel like this card is shaping up to be more exciting and maybe potentially even better than the White House card.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I was looking at
More
something
exciting? No?
No. The main event's I don't know. Like I said, it's two people that haven't won a fight in over 17 years combined. You know, they haven't fought. You know, one of them's like 1,700 days. I don't know. It's not anything I'm really looking forward to the main event at all. You know, Ronda Rousey's a terrible person. We'll get into that more later. But yeah. And then it's like against Gina Carano, which, I don't know, she just hasn't been anything in the MMA world for a while. And then they got Francis Ngannou, who's the man, but he's going against a 205er, it's going to be kind of a slaughter, non-competitive fight. Then, the Nate Diaz, Mike Perry thing, the reason why that at least to some extent is exciting is because they'll be competitive against each other. I mean, sure, they're not in their primes, but they're both really good fighters still. So, and they're going to put on an exciting fight. So that, I think should be pretty cool. And they added, what is it? Gable Stevenson versus Junior Dos Santos. I'm really excited about that. And
What?
yeah, that'll probably be one of the things I'm more excited about on the card. Gable Stevenson's just kind of shooting up real fast, and
Yeah.
I think this is like his fourth fight. And he's going to be fighting Junior Dos Santos, who's like a multiple-time heavyweight champion in the UFC.
He may be over the hill, but it just
it's a good
how many
test.
times did we watch him fade guys with one hit? It
Yeah.
just takes one hit from him. So he could be over the hill. I think JDS is the same age as me, to be honest with you. And I still think that'll be an exciting fight. Man, I didn't know about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. He's going to fuck JDS up pretty good, probably. Just take him down.
Probably.
But I mean,
He's
it's a fight.
42, so I'm a year older than him.
But it's a fight. Anything can happen. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the results of the UFC fight, UFC card over the weekend. I'm not going to do a complete breakdown, but it was UFC Fight Night, Limos versus Robertson. It was at the Apex in Las Vegas. It was Josh Emmett getting knocked out by Kevin Vagelos in round 1. Pretty impressive shit. And then Jillian Robinson ended up getting a decision win, somewhat dominant, I believe, over Amanda Lemos. And then Andre Fili beat Jose Delgado. Like I said, I'm not going to break down the whole thing. One of the other fights that I thought was pretty good was Ian Cutelaba ended up submitting Omar Sy in a upset. So that was some pretty cool shit. And Charles Johnson defeated Bruno Silva, which was a lot closer fight than I thought everybody thought it was going to be. It was a pretty good night of fights. Better than the pay-per-view the other day, I believe. Everybody was putting out on the line, a lot of finishes, and yeah, that's about it. Not going to go over too much, but we got a fight coming up next week. It's got some major implications in the 145 division with Mazvar Evolov. He's undefeated. At least, he's undefeated, going against Leron Murphy, who is also undefeated. super high competitive matchup against two guys who could easily claim the number one contender claim right now. And then all the other fights aren't really too crazy. We got Michael Venom Page fighting Sam Patterson. I'll be excited about that. Roman Dolidze going against Christian Leroy Duncan. So some exciting fights there. We'll go over some of the results if anything crazy happens. But yeah, everything's been pretty good in the UFC so far. I think the BMF fight was probably the shittiest fight so far this year. But hell yeah, Rocky down there barking. But besides that, some MMA world shaking up. Netflix might be a major player in it if they can keep this stuff going on. I don't think they'll be able to, but if they could put on 4 big cards a year, that'll really solidify them. I think Netflix they wanted to purchase UFC, but it wasn't the full deal. It was just the pay-per-views. UFC was trying to get rid of a lot of the package in one, and just wasn't something Netflix wanted to do. But I think they should have. But what do I know?
We're just two guys with microphones.
Yeah. Before we move any further, I know we're going back a little bit, but I wanted to talk about Revolution a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah, we should.
So you didn't watch it?
I caught highlights and I watched the main event in semi-fast forward.
All right, so like always, it's the best pay-per-view ever, right? That's what they're saying.
They always say that. It's insane.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good showing, but it was real similar to almost all the other shows that they've been doing. So it's like, that's not a negative thing, and people think they're good, but I think it's kind of highly impossible for it to be the best one ever, considering it wasn't. There was multiple matches on this card that could have been on Dynamite or Collision, and just because the action's somewhat good doesn't necessarily mean that it's the high stakes of what a pay-per-view card would be, right?
Right. It's just another match.
I'm going to do a quick rundown. Boom Boom, Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall with Aaron Solo, Big Justice, and the Rizzler defeated the Infantry and, I don't know, a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. Shane Taylor.
I want to point out something real quick about this fucking Rizzler. Did you see the part where they had him risen up the broad?
Yeah. Could you imagine if it was the other way around?
That's what I was going to say. What the fuck are we doing here with kids?
Yeah.
It's not appropriate.
Well, he needs to go on a diet. That motherfucker's not living past 30.
Yeah, it's not cute. It's fucking child abuse.
Yeah.
Child abuse that fat.
Yeah, he sucks. And the dad, I don't know. I just don't really want to see any of it. Then we had Willow Nightingale. Then we had Willow Nightingale defeating Lena Cross by pinfall. It was an okay match, but very, very average by every stretch, in my opinion. People obviously there are a lot of folks out there that are very attracted to Willow. She's a cute gal, but those same people shit all over Nia Jax. Yeah, well, she's not as bad looking as Nia Jax, but she's definitely fat.
Yeah, I mean Nia Jax is cute in the face, and but whatever. We're in no position to be judging anybody's bodies anyway.
Yeah, but Lena Cross has been in the company for like a month, if that. Nothing high stakes here, but it was I guess a decent match for what it was. Nothing crazy. And then we had Jack Perry won in that blackjack 20-man elimination by defeating Ricochet. It was reverse battle royal, not by design, and that wasn't what it was called. But they all started on the outside and went in after that. So. Wasn't a great match. One of the lowlights of the night, and Jack Perry getting another belt is just more doubling down on something that continues to not work, and it's just a complete waste of everyone's time.
Nobody even likes this guy.
I know, and then they like his little entrance a little bit now that they went back to the original song, but he's just I don't know, just not good. You could just move on at this point. He's a lost cause. Then we had FTR coming out to absolutely no reaction at all, and they were going against the Young Bucks in their hometown, who also came out to no reaction whatsoever. This match, everybody was saying that they thought it was really good. I thought it was one of the crappier matches that they put on. Definitely probably the worst one that they've had in AEW yet. And I don't know, there's nothing hot about a Young Bucks and FTR match at this point. but the right guys did win. And then we had, I think, probably the second worst match of the night. Timeless Toni Storm defeating Marina Shafir by pinfall. Not really much to say about this. Marina Shafir is also kind of a lost cause. Her matches stink. She's not tough. She thinks she's had 3 fights, but she's playing that tough MMA character gimmick. Overall, one of the crappier matches of the night. Then we had Jon Moxley defeating Takeshita by technical submission. The wrong guy won. This match was probably the third worst match of the night. They tried, and Takeshita did a great job, I guess, on his part, but it's just tough for Moxley to have anything that would be considered an all-time great match, and this was far from that. Then the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross defeated the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale by pinfall. This was okay, nothing crazy. Do you notice a theme here, Dave? A whole bunch of average matches. This is average by every stretch of the imagination. Nothing wild. Then we had Swerve Strickland defeating Brody King by pinfall. This was an okay match. I'd say it's a little bit above average. I feel like this is probably one of Swerve's crappier showings on a pay-per-view in a year and a half. It was okay. Brody King did a good job. Swerve did good as well, but I don't think these guys had great chemistry. If I were to give this like a star rating, it'd probably be like 3.5 out of 5 or some shit. But then we had Thekla defeating Chris Statlander. I forgot, actually. This is probably around Tony's... This match wasn't great either. It's hard to get interested in Thekla. She's a shitty character. Her in-ring work's all right, but Chris Statlander has no charisma whatsoever. I do like her, though. She is a hard worker, and she looks good, but, just a cold match here, and I think one of the other crappier matches. And then we had Mystico and Jet Speed defeated the Don Callis family, Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis by pinfall. They're the new Trios champions. This was okay, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of an average Trios match. This could have definitely been on Dynamite. Andrade El Idolo defeated Bandito by pinfall. Pretty average match. Not much going on there. They really stretched this out, and it really killed the momentum that they kind of had going on, I guess. Because people were somewhat into this, but man, how many times can Andrade take pictures with some chick on the outside of the ring? Then we had Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong, and they defeated the Dogs. This could have been on Dynamite as well. And then NJF defeated Hangman Adam Page in a pretty brutal match. It was decent, and the right guy did win, but overall a pretty average pay-per-view by every stretch of the imagination, and it was not the greatest pay-per-view of all time. And they still continue to have a lot of work to do. I did enjoy it. It was good. The in-ring work was all right, but it went way too long, and there were just too many pointless matches. They could have cut out half of them.
Yeah, they really need to get it down to like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That's longer than WWE, and then they can still tout that they're
all
running
the same
longer
match.
shows.
They're all the exact same match.
I don't need to watch a 5-hour PLE.
Yeah. And then it ends at 1:30 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah. Nope. I mean, the Super Bowl figured it out a long time ago. WWE figured it out a long time ago. Like, nobody's trying to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night.
Even UFC starting earlier.
Yep.
Why don't you take us on to the next one, Dave? I know that took a while, but I just really wanted to go over that to point out, like, it was very average.
Yeah, we got the photo album here. Everybody knows and loves it. And not a whole lot to say about my photo here, except for this is just what a couple of champions looked like in the 90s, Back in the 90s, both of these mics were cultural phenomenons, and they were everywhere. Everybody loved Mike Tyson. Everybody loved Michael Jordan. Would you say that that's an accurate description, TJ?
You're only missing Michael Jackson, the 3 big mics from back in the day.
Yep, everybody loved the mics.
Yeah, you got the greatest basketball player of all time, probably one of the biggest draws in sports history in Mike Tyson, super entertaining fighter, one of the best heavyweights of all time, one of the true characters of our lifetime, who will be being talked about 300 years from now. Same with Michael Jordan. That's greatness summed up in one picture. Two guys that have achieved the highest level of sports imaginable and the highest level of celebrity imaginable. There's probably a time where these two individuals were probably the most popular person on the planet.
Yep. And one of them was the baddest man on the planet. That was literally his moniker.
Yeah.
And he didn't give himself that name. Other people did.
Yeah. It's funny, you got Ronda Rousey calling herself the baddest woman on the planet, and she gave herself that name.
That's goofy.
Yeah.
When you have nicknames like that, like
You gotta
people
be
have to
earned.
give them to you. Right. Yeah. You don't just take up those mantles yourself.
Yep, 100%. I like your picture a lot. It's cool. Old retro one. I got one that's kind of retro too.
Well, that's us, old retro guys.
So I picked the earliest existing screenshot of World of Warcraft. That's what it says in here, using the Warcraft 3 engine. It shows how early this game was.
Yeah, you can really tell that it's on the Warcraft 3 engine. That's cool.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about this. Just, one thing that we need to do, and it might make a good video, is you can actually host alpha versions of World of Warcraft, like before the game launched. And like the zones are different, so we could go check stuff out, and you could connect to, and we could go do all that stuff together. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
The development and vision for this game is just something amazing, and it must have been a truly awesome thing to work on this game back in the day, and the collaborative effort it took by hundreds of people.
I did play some of the beta in 2004, and that was wildly different, a lot of it, than what we ended up getting.
Yeah, they did change
once
a lot.
It came out. That you had Warlock and Plate for a time. They were basically immortal. You couldn't kill them.
Yeah,
not unlike they kind of became immortal anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, Rhett was way better. Had Crusader Strike and a couple other attacks.
It's funny, yeah. They had abilities that they ended up taking away from them because of the hybrid tax that they ended up getting in Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I guess they felt like they were going to work better later. Yeah, I mean, Rhett wasn't the worst in the world in vanilla. Just you couldn't raid with it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, they forced you to be a healer if you were a healing class. That was just the nature of that rating in that version of the game.
Yeah, it was. And it was fun to heal too. It's not like I hated it. And you could, you raided long enough, you could pick up the rec gear and off spec and kill people in your free time.
There would be times that I would see back in the day healers that would be in more progressed guilds than what I was in, and they'd have like a weapon that I didn't have yet. And it's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I'd see that sometimes too.
Such is life, though.
Didn't happen on the second go around, though.
No, we ate. Everybody ate, though. We had a fair, good group, and everybody was taken care of.
For the most part.
Yeah. Everybody that deserved it was taken care of.
Yeah, had that Thunder Fury.
Yeah. TJ here was our main tank, for the folks that don't know. Did Scarab Lord.
It was a time, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I couldn't do that today, but what a time
that was,
to do that.
I'm about to get gay here for a second. I feel like that's a time when you and I became a lot closer, was the old Scarab Lord.
Yeah. I'm just sitting in there not sleeping very much, and in that hole all the time.
Living in the hole in Silithus.
Yeah. Most of the time people just leave me alone, but then sometimes people would fuck around, but we end up getting a horde to come down and kill them.
Yeah. I still talk to that guy sometimes, the guy who was the leader of that guild.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about Discord is it's easier to keep in contact with folks that you meet. I know Discord's catching a lot of flack lately because of the ID stuff or whatever, and it's like
they pushed it back.
I don't like the shit that you and I do on here. we don't need an ID anyway. So like, it literally doesn't apply to like 90 some odd percent of Discord users. So I don't know why everybody's freaked out.
I don't really care either way.
That's what I was trying to explain it to Brandon and Carter, because I looked into it and it's like, this doesn't affect anything unless you guys are slinging some fucking crazy racy shit to each other in DMs we
Yeah.
don't know about. Like, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't know why everybody's so upset about that. They got way more pressing things going on in the world.
Well, folks just, I think part of it is folks look for stuff to be upset about, but also, Discord is kind of one of those things that we've used longer than like Ventrilo or TeamSpeak or, the different communication
been
programs
around.
that we've used in the history of our online community and gaming and everything. And Discord, more so than any of these other programs, I feel like really has enhanced the community aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
So when things are announced or happened that could negatively impact something that we have used and enjoyed so much for our community, like, I think everybody kind of gets a little bit like, oh, well, they don't want anything to happen to their communities is more what I think folks are concerned about. I hope.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're saying people are more invested into it.
Right. Long-term use and things of that nature.
Yeah, Discord, been using it for a fucking while.
Like our Discord here that we use, this is TJ's Discord that we've used for raiding for years. There's like what 8-10 years worth of history on this Discord.
Yeah, something like that. It's
So,
older than that.
this is an old server. It's a lot of, we've fucked off a lot of the channels that we used, but we still have a lot of the WoW channels and just a lot of the channels of the stuff that we did things in.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I have to look up, but I'm pretty sure this is like a 10-year-old server, maybe like 11, some shit like that. I've had it for a while. But yeah. Speaking of had it for a while, we move on to the MP3 folder, Dave.
Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay. I'll end up putting some little thing over you for a split second. But yeah, so we got the OverMark MP3 folder here, and me and Dave were rifling through the folder last night to see which song we wanted to pick, and we ended up landing on a pretty good one, I'd say. Don't you think, Dave?
I do. There was a few options, and then the last one that you sent me within like the first 10 seconds, I was like, that's the one.
Yeah. So if anybody's ever played Majora's Mask before, when you turn into the Deku guy, and then you got to go get that tear that falls out of the moon, you run up to what's called the Astral Observatory, and that's what this song's called. And it's just a super cool vibe. It's got all these cool lights in it, and it's at the top of some it's a fucking observatory. So you got the big telescope thing. It's badass. Back in the day as a kid, it was instantly one of my favorite spots in like any game. I'd just hang out there with that badass music. And you guys are hearing it now, so maybe you haven't heard it before, and maybe you have, but you haven't. You didn't realize how cool it was, and you get to really appreciate it now. But
Or you haven't heard it in like 30 years, and
Yeah.
you're instantly flooded with feelings of, oh, I remember that nostalgia. Wow.
yeah, I love this song. I'm a really big fan of Majora's Mask. I'm one of the few people out there that enjoy it more than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time's a great game, though.
It is. It's spoiler alert. It may or may not be considered one of the greatest games of all time. It may be in contention
Huh.
for the greatest game of all time. Who knows?
Huh.
There's a lot of things out there about that.
Wonder if anybody's going to be talking about that at some point.
They just might. Maybe on a certain gaming channel.
Yeah. We'll have to check that out. See who those guys are. But speaking of gaming channel, Dave, You ready to talk about games a little bit?
I am, and I'm really excited about this segment this week, I think.
Talk to us about it a little bit.
Well, we have a 385 terabyte video game archive being saved by fans. So what has happened here is, how do you say this? Myrant?
You got it first time.
Myrant? So Myrant, one of the largest online video game archives, announced that it was shutting down at the end of this month. The site hosted huge collections of ROMs, game ROMs, ISOs, game updates and DLCs, preservation dumps of old games. They had laser discs on there, a whole bunch of shit.
Damn.
Yeah, I looked up some of this stuff after I saw this was on here. The total archive, 385 terabytes, which is just an insane amount of space. And I wish that there was some kind of reasonable way that I could accommodate having all of it. It's one of those. This is one of those situations that you didn't know that you wanted something just because you didn't know it existed.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, these days you would never be able to afford the storage to store all this, but it's pretty wild. It's costing this guy over $6,000 a month to keep everything online. So I wonder, I'm sure he was taking donations and shit, but how much of that was? Go ahead.
They did it without selling ads or anything.
Yeah, I mean it's wild. It's a lot of money that I couldn't do that at all. That bankrupt me after 1 month.
Yep. And we wouldn't even get to the stage of it being online.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool though. That people went and did all this, and a whole bunch of people mirrored small parts of it, and now the whole thing's backed up, and it's going to be shutting down this month. But yeah, it's going to be torrents that are going to be generated, so the archive will be distributed, and it means that the collection is going to continue to exist even if the original site disappears. Literally had everything: NES, SNES, 64, GameCube, Wii U, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, Xbox 360, Sega, arcade dumps, the Laserdisc, like you were saying, prototypes, rare regional releases, fan preservation dumps. So, a lot of these games aren't sold anymore. They're locked to old hardware. You can't get them digitally. So this is the only way they can get them. And there's nothing wrong with, having access to these things that you can't buy them anymore. It's the only way you can get them.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that ROM archives are piracy, but if you can't buy them anymore, how the fuck's it piracy? It's
who are you stealing from?
Yeah, it's got to be preserved.
I feel like ROM archives are one of those things that, I always use the phrase "no victim, no crime." There's no victim, so where's the crime?
I don't know.
And the manufacturers or whatever will argue that they're the victims, and it's like, all right, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know I could walk into a store and still buy this.
Yeah.
You're providing me with an avenue for me to have this still? No? Okay, well, then you probably don't have a leg to stand on and might want to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, if you had a game that I wanted to purchase and I could own it forever, I'd buy it. I don't really pirate if I don't have to. The only way I would do it is if it was the only option.
If I could walk up into the store right now and buy like a sealed brand new Chrono Trigger, Majora's Mask, whatever, we would. People would.
Yeah, well,
the fact of the matter is these people are leaving these IPs and these games and this software to die. They've already made their initial money off of it. They don't really care about it anymore. There are some companies that are becoming a little bit smarter, that they understand the value in what they have in their old games and software, but we haven't started to see any sort of benefit to them becoming aware of that sort of thing yet. I think companies that are starting to become aware of that kind of stuff are kind of like in a holding pattern of figuring out what to do with these things how to allow us to have access to them in a way that they can monetize. Probably some kind of online subscription service. There probably is no way to own this shit ever again.
Yeah, like I've said many times, it's kind of wild that there's no way to buy Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow these days. It's millions to, you let it go on long enough, billions of dollars just sitting on the table for shit that all you have to do is just pay some guy to fucking convert it over. It's run on fucking a toaster.
Yep.
Everybody could play it.
Yeah. So you literally make the cartridges and sell them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, how I just said everybody could play it. You know what some people can't play?
What's that?
A fucking PC game. You know why? They're expensive as fuck.
Yeah, I built mine at the right time, and so did you.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that would happen, and then it looked like for a while it wasn't going to, and then it got really bad. But RAM SSDs and GPUs have gone up, especially RAM and fucking SSDs, man. Fucking quadrupling in price.
Yep.
The RAM I got cost me like $400 pretty much, and now it's selling for like $2,200, I think.
Yeah, I think my RAM was like $220 or something like that, and it's like $500 now.
Yeah, my SSD, it was, I think it cost me about $400 as well, and I don't know what it is. I think it's about $2,000 now as well. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it's all because these AI data centers, man. It's AI and then the data centers in general just gobbling it up. The RAM and the SSD and the memory and storage. Sorry, as fast as they can.
Yeah. And there's no end in sight for them building these.
No.
At some point there will be, and they're going to have to come back to the consumers, and hopefully everybody reminds them of how poorly we were treated now. But traditionally, people kind of have short memories, and they'll be like, "Oh yes, Mr. Computer Man, sell me your parts again, please."
Yeah, it's funny, because like with the NAND supply, it's like Samsung, Micron, Hynix, and Coaxia, I think, are the only companies that are really doing it right now. They're trying to open some new facilities in the U.S., which they should have done that a long time ago. They always react to this stuff so slowly. But, my graphics card was about $3,500 when I got it, and you can't buy them now. So, like, it's essentially like almost $5,000.
Yep. I mean, how everything has shaken out with the computer stuff over the last year or so has really put a negative taste in my mouth. The paper launch and all the goofy shit with the 50 series cards and just the astronomical runaway pricing of everything has caused me to revisit console gaming and retro console gaming, and which is cool. Obviously, it's something that I always liked, but I was always, for like probably basically since WoW came out, I had been more of a computer guy, and I always had consoles still, but I had they collected dust. And now I'm kind of moving back to the whole console thing. And definitely going to get that PS3 like you and I talked about.
Yeah, they're awesome, man. A lot of fun.
I threw a whole bunch of them on the watch list yesterday of the specific like model number and date range or whatever.
Yeah, like the CECH 2100s to 25s.
The 25s, yeah. And these people are like throwing them at me in offers. It's like I throw it on a wait list or the watch list, and it's like $75. I'm like, man, fuck.
We should do it for that.
Yeah. So I'm probably pick one up on Friday when I get paid. Be honest with you.
I would, and then they're fun to mod, put the games on, all that. It's pretty easy.
I want to get one that has a really clean shell.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's pretty clean. It does have a little bit one blemish on the top, but it looks great.
All of them have some degree of blemishing. But I wouldn't be mad if I could find a white one that was in that date range too, but those are a little harder to find.
Fuck, what was it? Before we move on from the hardware talk, it's this has actually caused DDR4 RAM to go up in price too. and now that shit's hard to get. So it's like it's making people go back to old fucking hardware to save money, and then even that they're not really saving too much.
Nope, because everybody realizes that the newer shit's expensive, so they're selling their older shit for more money because they're realizing that people are having to go back to older hardware.
Yeah, and then like budget GPUs are fucking like $400 now. So start off at $400 for the cheapest level, and you know they're good GPUs, but they're crappy compared to the high end.
You know, we never did get that Intel all P core CPU yet. That was the 1700 socket. You know,
Oh,
that
I'm
I
sure
still
that'll
have.
happen the next go around.
Yeah, I'm curious what that's gonna look like and how it's gonna perform. Like my I haven't had a problem with my processor at all. Like I have the 13700K, and I know a lot of people had issues with them. Mine was never overclocked. I
It's good
never ran
shit.
it through a high voltage. Like the shit never has gotten even really hot. I've got a fucking overkill of a AIO. You know, I've got the 360 millimeter, or is it I can't even remember. 420 millimeter AIO, I think.
You know, it's funny. We were just talking about the PS3, and I know you're gonna mod yours, but
Oh yeah,
they finally fucking hacked that Xbox One.
it is the 420 millimeter
Yeah,
AIO, by the way. Yeah, that's why my fucking shit never gets hot. How could it?
yeah, just farted, but no, but like I was saying,
But
that
anyway,
they finally hacked the Xbox One.
that's insane.
Yeah,
And hopefully it becomes a consumer mod sooner than later.
yeah. So this is a voltage glitch hack.
Oh, well, I don't know that that's something that we'll be regularly easily
Yeah,
doing, like a lot of these PlayStation mods, but
the PlayStations were so much easier, but they ended up showcasing this at an event the other day. It was revealed at the recent RE-verse 2026 conference. It's the Bliss double glitch. I don't know, just pretty cool. Not really too much to go on, but you know they finally did it.
well, you know, Microsoft had been being fairly cocky for a while about it too.
Yeah, so and apparently it's a hardware attack against the boot ROM and Silicon, so the attack is unpatchable. So it's a complete compromise of the console, allowing for loading unassigned code at the entry level.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool. It allows
Yeah,
access to
that
the
is.
security processor, so games firmware they can all be decrypted, which is like nuts. That means they can then reverse engineer these games.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's kind of a big deal.
yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah, I
wild.
just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. Oh, one of the things, you know, since while I was doing all this PS3 stuff yesterday and looking into it, you can use the 4 and 5 controllers on it,
Can you?
which is cool. Yeah.
What, through Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Or is it okay? You don't need a dongle.
Nope.
Huh.
Not all of the features work. You know,
Yeah,
some of the 4 and 5 controllers have features that the 3 doesn't have. So,
yeah,
like that little slidey pad thing, that don't work. And you don't have a home button with the 5.
yeah.
So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But if you like the 4 and 5 controllers, you can use them on there.
I like the 3 controllers, especially if I'm playing like PlayStation 1 and 2 games. The 3 one matches them really well.
I do too. It basically feels like a PlayStation 1 or 2 controller that's just got a little bit more heft to it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good controllers. And they can still be had brand new,
yeah, they can.
believe it or not. You
You
got to
can still
look
get
out
PS3
for
controllers brand new, but they're expensive.
I was seeing them about between like 50 and $100, which is
Yeah,
expensive, but when you consider that you're getting a brand new controller for a piece of retro hardware and you think about the retro hardware market, like, you know, you don't always have options for brand new OEM items. You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? Like, I think you know, like that generation of console is the first generation that we're going to really experience a lot of that sort of thing, where there are brand new accessories, controllers, whatever things still around because there was such an abundance of them.
Yeah, you can still do that with the 360 as well. They're getting a little bit more expensive,
Yeah.
but you can get new controllers for them.
One of the things I learned, and we're going to get out of here in a second, but this is our show, folks. So we take as long as we want. The when you're looking at the PlayStation controllers, the PlayStation 3 ones, the way that you can spot the counterfeit ones is the select button is a lot thinner on the fake ones, and it's like a fatter select button on the real ones. I got a picture. I think if I can find it on my phone here, I did a screen grab. Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you. Maybe we'll add it to the video. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But this is just so that you could see here. Actually, we probably should pop this up on the screen since we're talking about it. So if you look, the one on the left there, that's the non-counterfeit one.
Okay.
And then look at the one on the right.
Yeah.
You'll notice the one on the left, the button is slightly bigger.
Well, the writing's bigger too.
And the text is slightly different. Yes, that's the other thing. So that's your big tell. Like there are other tells, but I've been doing a bit of research on this, and the major like immediate one is that select button.
Sorry, I was yawning.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty interesting though. Well, I'll definitely pop that up there so they can see, but I think we're gonna pop the fuck on out of here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to take a dump, so I'm gonna say bye, and then I'll let you say bye, and then I'm gonna say bye to some other stuff.
Oh,
Everybody, have a good week. Thank you so much for the awesome, fun show, TJ.
Appreciate you. I would have been a little bit more energetic today, guys, but I'm somewhat tired. I didn't sleep as well as I could have last night. But yeah, everything's going good. I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you, Dave. We're about to get out of here, and I will see you guys next time.
Yeah. Later, everybody.